Hello and welcome to Japan Photo Explore. In this episode, Ted and I are heading north of Tokyo for some winter travel photography and street photography in a regional city. With our previous trips to Japan, our destination of choice for winter photography has been Hokkaido because of its amazing photo opportunities and reliable snowfall. Some of the places we've visited have more than 10 metres or 33 feet of snow every year. But this time, Ted and I are travelling to the Tohoku region, and our first destination is the city of Ichinoseki, which only has about 1.4 metres or 4.5 feet of snow each year. Ichinoseki is about 2 hours north of Tokyo by Shinkansen. Looking out the window as we head north, there's not a hint of snow, even though it's the second week of February. But to our surprise, when we get to Ichinoseki, we do find some patchy snow on the ground. So after hotel check-in, we decide to explore the neighbourhood. Past the expanse of commercial development, we get to an area that has some potential. And it has started snowing again. Here, the streets are deserted. Combined with the patchy snow cover, the photos take on a lonely, melancholy feel. I find exploring a new area like this exciting. It's the thrill of not knowing what kind of photo opportunities you're going to find. It is the joy of discovery. Ted, what about this temple? The craftsmanship is outstanding. In the true Japanese woodworking tradition, even the new sections are built in the traditional way, completely without nails.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to find anything like that. It's got a pretty impressive cemetery behind it and lots of statues wearing red hats and bibs. But I've since found out that they represent Jizo Bosatsu, the guardian deity of deceased children. The hats and bibs are left by parents to comfort their children in the afterlife and to seek Jizo's help in protecting them from demons. It's much more meaningful and touching than I ever thought.
Next morning, we wake up to this. It's been snowing steadily overnight, transforming Ichinoseki with a fresh blanket of snow.
Release handbrake and
west, young man.
go west.
Ichinoseki's tourist attractions include two nearby scenic gorges. This morning, our plan is to visit one of them, Genbike Gorge. The point of visiting the gorges in winter is to see them covered in snow. But yesterday there was so little snow on the ground, I thought that we were going to miss out. But all this fresh overnight snow has me excited. As it turns out, our timing could not be better. A restaurant owner clearing snow invites us to use his car park and tells us that even though there are only 3 weeks of winter left, this is the first snowfall of the season. We can't believe our luck.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Yesterday's challenge was to make interesting photos in ordinary surroundings, but this is anything but ordinary. With a scene like this, just about any framing will give you a reasonable shot. And the falling snow is adding some atmosphere to the pictures. But we know these weather conditions are probably temporary, so we have to work fast. The other challenge is access, because a lot of the paths are closed in winter. Unfortunately, many shops like this snack shop are also closed, but it makes for an interesting photo. By the middle of the day, the sun has come out and has transformed the scene. Of course, when you have an attraction like this, there are bound to be businesses that spring up around it.
Did you expect to find anything like this, Nick?
No, I did not.
They do glass making here, but I think the Venetian glass is imported. It looks like they've got glass from all over the world.
That's so unusual. Normally, crafts shops in Japan focus on locally made products. But I have to say, it's the exterior of the building that fascinates me. It has a retro amusement park vibe, but with a faded glory feel. I love it. Our next destination is the Chusonji temple. The bonus is this scenic drive. But talk about the joy of discovery. On the way to Chusonji, we find another temple, one carved into the side of a cliff.
This is the Tohoku Sakuji Buddhist temple, Nick. It's been a shrine to Mishaman, the guardian of Buddhist law, for over 1,000 years. Interesting point here, Nick. The cave that it's built into was previously a local warlord's harem prison. Not a nice person, so I'm told. It's been burnt down a number of times, and surprisingly, it was last rebuilt in 1961. It still looks ancient to me.
We feel like we've already had a day's worth of shooting, but we still have one more location. We continue on to our original destination, the World Heritage Chusonji Temple Complex. On our right, Ted, is the path up the hill to the temple complex.
You have arrived.
In the latter half of the 11th century, there were bitter conflicts between rival clans in this area. To placate the spirits of all who died and to create a peaceful state based on the principles of Buddhism, the reigning lord Kiyohira began construction of this massive Chusonji complex. At its peak, there were 40 halls and temples and residences for 300 monks. The technical challenge with these photos is the very wide range of brightness levels. From the very bright sky to deep shadows under the eaves and in the doors and windows. With most cameras, as long as you don't overexpose and lose detail in the bright areas, you can lighten the shadows with software. Another challenge is that with all this detail in the buildings, as well as the surrounding trees, the composition can get a bit too busy. That's why it's great being here in winter, when the snow cover helps to simplify and strengthen the compositions. Ted, did you see that? That girl bowed to thank us for stopping for her.
Oh, Nick, I just wish I could return the bow. How very kawaii was that?
Where else but Japan? It's small encounters like this and others like the elderly customer at the supermarket who helped us pick out some fine locally produced sake, and the kind locals that insisted on driving us from the station to our hotel that make being in Japan special.
Okay, we've just made a pit stop at 7-Eleven. We're stocked up on 7-Eleven chips. We have both salty flavour and sesame oil and seaweed. On the way to Geibiki Gorge, the one with the boat.
Today we're heading to the other gorge, Geibiki, which sounds very similar to yesterday's gorge, Genbiki. So if you come here, make sure you know which is which.
You might not realise this, Nick, but we're driving over a massive granite formation.
I can feel a geology fun fact coming, Ted. Bring it on.
Well, I am that transparent. What makes it special is that it's fault-free for over 50 kilometres.
That sounds like something you don't find just anywhere.
Yeah, especially around here with all its earthquakes and tsunamis. Apparently, this is the interesting part, it's an ideal site for an underground tunnel 20 kilometres long, and it's going to house the International Linear Collider Science Centre.
That would be amazing. And building an international science facility of that scale here would be a huge boost for the Tohoku region, which is still recovering from the great 2011 earthquake and tsunami. You know, Ted, I'm not convinced about the second gorge. It's spectacular, but apparently you can only access it by boat. I'm up for a good boat ride through a scenic gorge, but in winter, the boat has plastic curtains all round to keep the passengers warm. Not ideal for taking photos though.
It's a bit disappointing, but I think you're right, Nick.
We reconsider our plans and head further down the road to another access point to Seitetsu River. Ted, are you saying we need to cross the river here? Because that looks like a footbridge.
I think we've got size on our side though, Nick.
You'd fit.
Yeah,
It's a road bridge.
yeah.
You... We either take this or we give up.
Oh, so there's nothing. This is no.
No. As we're going down here, it just goes further away.
Oh, I'm so glad we got the little Honda N-Wagon. It's designed for this bridge.
Oh, you beauty.
Ah. Fantastic.
This is very local, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now hang on. Where are we going?
Wow, this is a really nice spot, and we have it all to ourselves. How peaceful.
I think we've found a hidden jewel, Nick. It doesn't have the drama of Genbeki Gorge, but that's what makes it so tranquil. Don't you love the colours and the reflections in the water? And the poor old Volvo makes such a contrast, doesn't it? I wonder how many other photographers have been lucky enough to come here.
On the way home, we make one last stop at an overlook. To some, these are just ordinary small town scenes, but to me, this is authentic regional Japan. And after more than 2 years of COVID travel restrictions, I can't wait to get back.
Climbing up those incredibly steep stairs made me feel a bit like Jack and the Beanstalk. I didn't expect to find this little farm at the top. What an amazing find, Nick. Ichinoseki's been a great choice for a photo shoot, Nick. From the expected to the unexpected, I've loved every minute of it.
Agreed, Ted. Staying in Ichinoseki has been a really enjoyable experience. It is a slice of authentic Japan, and it's provided a great range of photographic opportunities. Of course, this video is about photographing in and around Ichinoseki, but it is also about the warm hospitality and the joy of exploring beyond Japan's big cities. So join us in the next video, Tohoku Part 2, as we head further north to discover so much more of the Tohoku region. Thanks for watching, and please click the like button to help the channel grow. If you want to see more stories about travelling and photographing in Japan, make sure to subscribe and click on the bell icon to get upload notifications. See you in the next video.